up, y'all? It's your boy Forever Cabron coming in to let you know to check out What's Hood with me, the Compa FC, where you can roll one up with a real one. We chop it up about everything, dog. Politics, hood shit, music, movies, acción, you name it, la causa, el movimiento. We want to tackle things about looking at your culture differently and all that good shit. So if you want to look into that, if you want to find some self-love and self-worth, dog, check out a Compa. Roll one up with a homie, dog. Every Tuesday and Thursday, right here on Binge on this. Check a homie out, dog. Stay up late.
Ladies and gentlemen, to this, that, and the other. My name is Sexy Bryan.
And this is Spontaneous Sam.
Yeah, let the cool rhythms. Who is that? Hit the family with who that is.
This is some 70s French jazz mix, soul jazz, free jazz, spiritual jazz, ethno jazz from the magical mystery mix. Subscribe, like them and us.
Guys, we are back at it. 3 mics, ready to go. You get the musical entourage in the background, tickling the inside of your ear like a colonic. Is it colonic?
Yeah, colonic, but the colonic's for your asshole or colon.
But for your ears. An auditory colonic.
A brain colonic.
Yeah, guys, hope everybody's been doing well. If this is your first time listening to us, which I doubt it, because guess what? We get the same numbers every week.
So it's the same people listen to us?
Pretty much. Pretty
Really?
much 20 to 25 people. Every now and then we bounce depending on the title. That's why I put such emphasis on my title work. That's why you go down our discography. And you know what? I have to tip my hat to Jane, because Jane was the first one to name our very first episode.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like episode 1, like...
What was it called?
It's just New Year, New Me. And from there, it just snowballs into... Like, you can kind of tell, like, sometimes when and then it's like the orange episode, and then from there on, it just... The titles get really dope. Like, if you go down the list of all of our titles, I'd be like...
They're good.
I'd be like, cool. Like, these guys have interesting, cool things to say. And that's why I'm happy about those 20 to 25 people who log in and listen to us every week, because that is 20 to 25 people more than the average person has. So thank you. However, if you are new, let me tell you a secret. Turn it down. Turn it down. It's an American podcast. So if you're brown, if you're Asian, if you're not from America, if your mama didn't shit you out on this God-given soil, well then you better rise up for the American flag, sonny boy. Because this is an American podcast, this, that, and the other. Otherwise it would be called esto, el otro, y lo demás. And that's not... If you want beaner shit, go to What's Hood next door, but this is an American podcast. I can say that because it's our show.
It's funny that you say that, because I'm actually dealing with having to prove that I'm an American citizen right now.
With who?
I'm trying to get a passport, and they're like, "But we need." She looked at me and said, "Okay, where's your card for citizenship?" And I was like, "What?" Like I kind of like had to do what?
Yeah.
And because I'm born in Istanbul, and I don't have my old passport. I lost it. Well, it was taken.
Right. Oh.
But so I don't, and my birth certificate doesn't say it because it's from Turkey.
Right.
And my parents are dead. And
right.
So to get them to do it, it's an extra $100.
Oh, that's it though?
That's it. I was like, look, if you guys are gonna do a background check on me anyway when I submit this. You don't just give out a passport.
Right.
So wouldn't you?
So you went in there with your ID and like your proof of registry, and you were just like, I need to renew my
I was like, what about my
ID?
social security card? She laughed and she was just like, we give social security cards to everybody. I was like, how does that make sense?
Man, that's weird. Well, no, that's weird. Yeah. Because I have a certificate of adoption, because I was born in Colombia, but when I came here, my adoption certificate says North Carolina. So, but you weren't adopted. You're from Istanbul or wherever you are.
Well, I was like, I looked at her. I was like, wait a second. She goes, yeah, you were born in Istanbul. You have to prove you're a citizen. I was like, My dad worked for the consulate. I was living over there. Yeah.
So does that mean that this isn't an American podcast?
Yeah,
this is a podcast for illegal immigrants.
Yeah,
Switch it up. Give me some illegal musician. If this is your first time listening, fuck the white man. Don't trust anybody other than brown people, Asian people, Indian people, woo people. Just don't never trust a white man.
You didn't say anything about a black guy there, which you know, that says a lot about what you're thinking about that.
Yeah, because that means it was implied, and that's the worst type of racism. Anyways, what do we? Well, so that's your week, Ben. Have you been dealing with your passport issue?
My passport issues, French bank issues, my comic book that if you guys are watching this, is it in frame? It's in frame?
Yeah, it's in the back.
Okay, so for audio listeners behind us, there's my outline.
We need batteries for the good camera.
And yeah, so I'm basically
a lot of stuff, stoves in the oven. And you know it's business when there's stoves in the oven. But it's in there, and there's a lot of stuff moving. Next year's there's just a lot of stuff. I'm learning so much in my class.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
It's good, man. It's worth every fucking penny, bro.
Yeah,
every penny. I'm so happy because I'm not.
What took you so long?
Not gonna be the money.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. This is the first time I actually have a saving account.
Really? After you just drop that guap on the fucking on the bike that you wrecked?
Yeah. Hey, bro. I say it time in and time out. You know, I live like a hermit, but one of the most famous hermits was what's his name? My favorite.
Oh, he's my favorite.
My favorite philosopher. What's his name? Dioclesius. Dioclesius was this dope ass philosopher back in Rome or Greek times, and his whole theory was just like, you don't really need anything to understand what was going on. And he used to sit on the side of the roads, and he would live in a giant clay pot, like a big old giant clay pot. And he would, and he would live on that clay pot, kids. And when people would come by, he would dispense out mad wisdoms and shit, homie. And he would be like, they'd be like, Dioclesius, you know, what is the purpose of life? And he'd be like, you grab a chicken and depuluck it, and it's still a chicken.
Well, it sounds like he was a homeless man.
He was cool.
He was a homeless man that had a lot of time to think.
Well, some would say homeless men are the world's deepest philosopher.
Yeah, that's why they're leaving all the trash everywhere. Dude, I was looking at the homeless people this morning. I had to go to the post office. Like these fucking tents, man.
They're everywhere, man.
So I heard someone recently said, not told me, but I heard them say, you know, if it wasn't for homeless people, like there would be so much more trash in the streets because they pick it up and bring it to places to try to make money.
That's kind of a good way, I guess, kind of looking at it.
Then I'm sitting at a red light today, and I'm looking at the homeless encampment, and it seems to me like they pull the trash out of the trash bins and bring it to their places and just distribute it all over the street.
Yeah, it's starting to get wild.
I think that other person's fucking thing was mute.
There's just a lot of. I got the name of the. There's just. Yeah. What do you? I don't know. I'm kind of over. What can we do? There's nothing. Literally.
What can we do?
You
want to know what to do?
Nothing. You can be like my boy Diogenes. That was my guy's name. I don't know what I said beforehand.
We're gonna get rid of all.
We're gonna send in the coppers. The coppers are gonna do nothing but come in there and kick them right back out, homie. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's good on your part that they won't give you a passport. Right? That's good?
No.
Oh, that's bad. That's not what we want.
I want a fucking my passport.
He needs his passport. All right. Well, let's hope that you can get that issue resolved. Wow.
That's a cougar snarl.
That is not a cougar. A cougar sounds like, let me buy you a drink. Whoa! You were having a lot of fun with that sound effect.
That's a creature snarl.
You're killing it.
All right.
Do you have any notes?
No, just the passport thing. It's kind of bugging me. How much money they need just to fucking look up to see if I'm a citizen or not. I was like, seriously, guys, you're gonna have to do that anyway. And then just being broke and the holidays. France, dog. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're living that real broke writer's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
I'm working though, but still living that. out of the tiny hole in the wall house.
So what have you been doing in your classes?
Apartment. It's pretty much just getting packets and stuff ready. So knowing, like, going to the right. It's getting pointed into the right direction for the right people to pay for classes. So rather than jumping around and going through different classes and stuff.
Being all artsy.
You know, you need a flamenco class. I got you.
Tap dance.
But instead of spending my time with Don Luis, who isn't that good of a tango class guy and doesn't have that good of a reputation, they're just going to send me to Don Miguel, who has worked with other people who book networking stuff. So it's just
Old
a matter
Don
of
Miguel.
Yeah, Don Miguel will be like, the flamenco is about love in your hips. If you can't move your hips, you can't move your heart. And then I'll be dancing. I'll be like, Don Miguel, that doesn't make any sense. I'll be like, have you ever really loved a woman? And I'll be like, no, Don Miguel. He'd be like, you've treated them all like Kleenexes, haven't you? I'll be like, Don Miguel, my life. And he'll be like, that's why you can't dance. That's why you're stiff as a board. And then be like, $1,000 for your next class. And that's $1,000 for Don Miguel versus $1,000 for Don Carlos, who's just gonna be like, you're wonderful. You know how to love. Like,
so Don Miguel basically tells you the truth
for $1,000.
For
It's all
$1,000.
about money management, my friend. That's what the game is out here, man. We've said it time and time again on this show. You can be the most talented motherfucker in the world, but if you're not paying or playing with the right people. And that's not to say there's not a way for you to find a perfect balance between you and the world. Speaking of, have you seen The Boys?
I want to watch it.
Please do
Yeah.
yourself a favor and watch it.
Yeah. I mean, I've read the comics.
Wonderful.
The comics were great.
The show was fucking bomb.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it's a really clean adaptation. From,
Oh, okay,
From
cool.
page to, yeah, so I mean.
Good, because there's some fucked up shit in there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very good.
Yeah.
It's so good. But there's a Frenchman in there, and he's
yeah.
a lover. He loves the women.
Yeah,
And
he's a psycho.
And then there was a woman, and she says, I love you. And he says, I love you too, pumpkin. And then he goes off. And yeah, but he said, hey, my papa stole me from my mother's house. And he took me to Marseille. And I would try and run away. I would jump on trains, and I would jump on subways. But he would always find me. And I was like, the French, they're so passionate. Such passionate people.
Yeah,
but
they're
The
a big
Boys.
fucking pain in the ass when it comes to
You see les fous.
and
You
banks.
call yourself French?
Yeah.
Your baby says you're from
Customer service zero.
Istanbul.
Zero.
But you are Turkey. You are Le Pavo. You are Turkey. Be like, huh? Fucking French. You are a Turkey boy, no? Miguel, le Turkey boy. And be like, no, I am French. Je parle français.
Je parle français.
No. Oui.
Oui.
Turkeys do not speak French.
Le fromage.
Well, that sucks, man. I know I have to worry about getting my passport soon, too. The apartment people called me, so I'm hoping to go and pick up my IDs. Probably have like 2 IDs waiting there for me because I've gone twice, which will be nice.
Why does your mail keep going over there?
I have no idea, man. I've sent in the change of address to
post office
twice now. So I thought the first time was because I did just temporary or something like that. Or maybe I just didn't put it in or something like
Right.
that. I don't know. But it's fine. It's really, I just need the ID because I need the ID to get the passport and the passport to be able to travel or buy tickets. Or you just need the ID. You just need an ID to do stuff, man.
Yeah.
You need your ID to just be safe. Have your ID because this is a police state. They pull you over. They want your ID, man. They want to know that you're a citizen and that you pay taxes. Even though the police officer.
I could have showed her my tax papers. She goes, that doesn't mean you're a fucking American citizen.
She's right. We wouldn't accept tax papers at Westlake.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Don't mean nothing.
I'm giving money to
That's
the
why you
government.
should have gone in there and been like, oh, this means Jean-Claude Samuel. They'd be like, oh, welcome back, brother. Mwah, mwah. How is it, Jane?
Jean.
How is Jean? Oh, Turkey boy. All right. I have a few notes.
All right.
There's only one way for an apartment to be accessible at all points.
At all? What do you mean all
At
points?
all points. What I'm saying is from a delivery standpoint, especially with these big buildings. Out here in LA, they have these huge buildings, these condos, these apartment complexes. Sometimes there's like 15 to 20 rooms on one floor split into 2 different ways.
Right, so you got to go all the way to
On
one.
15 stories, right.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, the perfect apartment building would be a building that was like revolving. Or that would revolve the way that like Japanese cars
So every
Garages
time
revolve.
someone wanted to get into through the front door, every neighbor that wanted to get into the front door, the whole building would go.
It would bring the door. It would bring your room. It would bring the. It would like move the apartment to you, like or.
Why not just have
or
an
you
elevator?
you would move the. Okay.
You know, like those bottles of water, like
right.
Or snack dispenser.
You're right. Fuck you. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Just be all,
and then.
boom, we just solved it.
Boom. Boom. Cool. See, there you go. That's note number 1. No, we're doing great, guys. Everybody's doing a great job. I hope you guys are having a great day. Whether you're driving in the car, or you're sitting in the rain, or maybe you just got back from court, and it turns out that they did match your fingerprints, and you're only going to be out on bail for 24 hours. So you decide to go and visit your ex-girlfriend because, God damn it, you're going to get your dog back. So you kick the taxi cab driver out because you don't take Uber. You're not down for sexual assault. You steal the yellow cab, zoom across town, stop down by Dickie's, get yourself an order of flapjacks, 2 sides of bacon, and 1 piece of hash brown flipped over, half done, half brown. Make your way over to your ex-girlfriend's house. She's not there. You know why. She's at work. You stalk her constantly. Kick the door down. Boom! Look for the dog. She's scared. Doesn't recognize you. It's been years. Dogs don't remember anybody. They'd love again if you die. You pick her up. Run down the stairs. Taxi cab's gone. Stayed in that fire lane. Shouldn't have done that. Run down the streets. Police on their way. Stop back at Denny's. Stop for the short stack. Make sure you go for the Grand Slam, because we are sponsored by Denny's. Make it back home.
Yeah.
That's a clean plug. You ruined my plug. Clean plug. Got to Denny's, brought the dog back home, stayed there, suicide, ritual murder.
Boom.
But you're listening to us the whole time while that's all going down. So, my second note has nothing to do with that. I think it's just kind of crazy to see more major corporations like UPS and FedEx. They outsource like a lot of their business. I've never seen that before in some places. But
so when you see these delivery trucks for like package deliveries, it's UPS that gave them, like they do that.
Well, some of them.
It's kind of like the ambulances out here. None of them are actually.
Well, that's an interesting
hospital.
thing too. Me neither. As a child, I didn't understand.
I thought it was a hospital's
I didn't
ambulance.
understand that too. Me too. But it
It's
turned.
like a cab service.
It's like a cab service. The hospital calls out to the closest cab people, and then the hospital bills, or the ambulance company bills the hospital. The hospital bills you bill your insurance. The insurance
It's a
pays the
fucking
hospital.
billing circle jerk.
Shit show, isn't it? Yeah, but I guess it makes sense because as the population kicks out, you need more.
Yeah, and I'm sure it used to be just the hospitals, and then one day a company started up, and he had a bunch of vans, and he was just like, "Hey, man, I'll take some of the load off of you."
Yep.
You know, let's,
Because the statistics lean that
The
way.
statistics.
Look, you're not getting to this part of town in time. Like, this is dark urban neighborhood. I'll
Did
take
you
care of
see
it.
those the Jew ambulances?
No.
Yeah, it's all Hebrew on the side.
Oh yes, the Maskell is what they're called.
Yeah, imagine one of those pulling up to an anti-Semitic guy.
Oh
He's
yeah.
Like, "Ah,
I
you
doubt
guys,
they'd call.
You guys are gonna extra bill me. This is an more expensive service.
That's funny. They'd be like, "Get your Jew nose out of my face," and they'd be like, "We're just trying to save you, sir." Like,
Oi,
shach malach.
like 1 out of 5.
Heyo. But anyways,
And then the Jew ambulance guy says, "Hey, you know how many Holocaust survivors we can fit in this van? 2,000."
And be like, "Boo! Get out of the ambulance. You suck." The reason why I made a note of it in specifics was I saw a Penske moving truck with a UPS label on it. Like, to that extreme to where.
So I can get a Penske truck and go up there and be like, "Hey, I'll deliver some for you." Here, they give me a magnet.
That would be nice, right? Wouldn't it? Yeah. But no, I think the company itself is hiring Penske out and moving trucks out, and they're the UPS decal and they're sending teams out to deliver packages, you know? Which is America at its finest.
That's capitalism right there.
That's funny. It is capitalism. Isn't that peak capitalism? The ambulance thing is actually way more capitalism than this. I think I remember looking at the ambulance and doing that.
Yeah, because when I started realizing, I was like, wait, what? Because it doesn't look like that in Arizona. They all kind of look the same.
Sometimes, yeah.
I might have seen one or two.
White ones and then yellow ones. Every time you see the yellow one, like you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Like, why would you be?
Yeah, the white and red ones are the ones that I know.
Yeah. But I mean, most of them have the names of the hospitals that they're from too.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, but if it's just like a McCormick ambulance service, I mean, that just goes to show you how easy it is.
That'd be funny if they had plumbing, like, you know how plumbers get real creative with their names. Yeah. If ambulances
that
start
funny
doing that.
like goofs. Yeah, you'd be like in the back, like with a bullet hole, and they'd be like, "It's okay, so you just need to keep breathing." I'd be like, I'd be like, "What ambulance service?" And I'm with. They'd be like, "See, I shouldn't. What's a good one?"
You should have started with the joke in your head for like.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, why would I do the setup? What's a good ambulance pun? Stop, part, and roll. No.
We don't. Not the light or against the light. Like.
Flat.
Stay away from the light services.
No. Not today, God.
Dark tunnel services.
Dark tunnel services. Anti-reaper. We'll reap what you sow. Ambulance.
Just say
service.
We'll just say 1 in 3. 1 in 3 ambulance services. So when you're in there, you're like 1 in 3. What's 1 in 3?
It'd be the 1-up Mario symbol. Yeah, that would be good. 1-up Mario symbol.
Have a gang of like like a video game one.
It'd be Extra Life ambulance service, and then you would have people jump out
1-up
like Toad.
Ambulance.
And be like,
oh, people have to dress up like Ghostbusters.
I know there's a good one there. Whatever. But anyways, if you guys start an ambulance service, let us know.
A goofy ambulance service.
Yeah, otherwise don't even bother, man. Saving people is not cool unless you have puns in there. Unless you have good pun work. My last note, dude. 2019.
Almost over.
Yeah, and that's why I wrote this song called 2019's Trying to Kill Me. That's my Armstrong impression. That's my Armstrong.
Okay, all right.
They all sound like that.
Someone listening to this in their car is going to be like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're going to be halfway down the stairs with their dog from their ex-wives. And I'm just going to be like, the dog's going to start. 2019 is intent. It just wants to kill me, dude. The other day,
2019 killed Juice WRLD though.
I was walking. It sure did. But you know what? No sympathy.
Hey, you know when that guy? When I read it first thing in the morning when it just happened. No one knew what happened. He had well, no, I just mean like it was like breaking news, TMZ. Yeah. It was like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
It says he had a seizure, died on the way to the hospital.
Yeah.
First thing in my mind, I go, oh, codeine. I was like, there's a lot of codeine and probably Percocets and stuff like that. And then later on, they found a bunch of codeine on the flight. They found a bunch of perks. He took pills.
A bunch of guns.
Yeah, guns. But I just mean like codeine, like you take too much codeine, you get seizures.
Oh, yeah?
You could take a shit ton of perks. That doesn't, we won't get seizures.
Well, he ganked a whole bunch of perks before they landed because the feds were coming to sweep the plane. So they're saying he OD'd on taking a shit ton of perks.
That's a good way to go.
Good way to go, my guy, and no sympathy.
So why is 2019 trying to kill you?
But, so I was on my way to the car after a delivery, and it was raining, and so I was doing like a little skip through the rain to like kind of like a childish attempt to avoid the rain.
Oh, you're trying to be like a ninja and run between the droplets.
Yeah.
And like so your feet don't hit puddles, you kind of try to tip them real quick.
So I'm Naruto running towards my car, and my foot comes down and hits a puddle and slips, and
that's why you don't Naruto run.
Slide right into the bottom part of my car, and I bend it with my shin. I'll show it to you outside before I leave, but the bottom part of it is bent in, like from my leg hitting the thing.
If you would have called me with a broken leg.
Well, I like fell over in the rain, and I was like, ugh. And I was like, no, like, oh no. But Like, as soon as it happened, I moved my leg. Like, that's usually what happens when I get
There's a
hurt.
bone sticking out like in Bloodsport.
Oh, at that point, I would have just been like, fuck it. Like,
I'm moving back home.
I'd have been like, damn you. No, I would have just, you would have caught me screaming at the universe. Like, is that all you have, you motherfucker? Like,
and then they arrest you again for screaming.
I would have figured something out, though. I think at that point I would have probably they would have splinted that bitch up. No, not with a compound fracture like that. You're fucked. You're off your feet for a minute.
That's,
like, you're not.
There's like.
That's like our buddy Cooper.
Yeah, shout out to
bless
Coop. He's got a lot of time to listen to this. Why doesn't he listen to this?
I know, right? Hope your pelvis recovers.
I hope if you don't listen to this, your pelvis takes longer to recover.
Oh, that's a little twisted, but I agree. All right. But that happened to me 2019, and that happens to be the end of my notes. And you know what that means? We go into motherfucking current events. Yeah.
I listened to Jack Black I was listening to Jack Black talk to Conan on Conan's show, and he happened to mention, there was a bunch of cool shit that he mentioned, but that him and Dan Harmon came up with a show years ago. Yeah.
How it all started, baby.
Yeah.
You need to start at the beginning.
Oh,
start
there's too much time.
Well, just put it in the background.
Yeah.
Put it in the background. I'll tell you about it. It's a cool show. It's about the concept. The reason the show failed was because it was,
I heard it. Yeah, he talked about it.
Fucking Christ. Yeah, dude, the motorcycle is Owen Wilson. The motorcycle was voiced by Owen Wilson. Yeah. And Dan at one point says, he goes, hey, did you guys see that Sherlock Holmes movie? He's like, we wrote a bit in the show. And he's like, I wrote it as a joke. He's like, I wrote it because it was so stupid. Like, his whole basis is half the shit he does is because it's so stupid. He goes, Jack Black because he's so smart in the show, because he's an astronaut who goes to space.
And the sunlight that gives him the powers.
Exactly. So he comes back, and he wrote that Jack was so smart that he could see people throwing punches and calculate it using...
Yeah.
And then he goes, and then they turn around and put it in Sherlock Holmes and make $100 million out of it.
When he sees the calculations and
I was like, yeah, that was like 20 years ago, like when that first came out, like, and
I mean, there's already been superheroes that do that.
That's what I mean, though. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, that plays off of like a lot of superheroes. Like, there's
super smart
the math superhero, right? That you were telling me about.
Yeah, I still can't fucking figure it out. I think
who doesn't exist.
What fucking. It was from the one with the show where the superhero. He's like a Superman, and he goes insane and basically just kind of fucking shakes up the world. Irredeemable, and he was a superhero and irredeemable. This guy. Yeah. And using math equation around you, you can like stop bullets and shit like that just by figuring out like the.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like. I could look at this wall and with math figure out the weakest point and then it just
that's
fucking
crazy. That's baller. Yeah. Crazy times.
But like just when you like read it, there was like math equations all around the head.
Yeah. It's good to hear that people are publicly talking about Harmon again, because he had that whole Me Too, and then
what was his Me Too?
He goes over it in great
just
detail.
Fucking tell me.
I'm just kidding. He was just working with some lady at his job during his first divorce, and I guess he was making move towards her that she just felt was really inappropriate. And
so he had the hots for her, and he probably hit on her. And
he's just weird. He's a fucking weirdo. Yeah. He's a weird.
He probably did something really creepy.
He's just a weird guy. He's a weird.
She was just like, "That's weird, man."
He's a weird guy. And so, but she felt it was uncomfortable enough to where she had to make say something about it, and then. An old video, and it's funny because we discuss a lot, what we're putting out here now, and I think we operate on a bit of a different scale because everything is so open. Yeah. And I mean, but the old videos that he used to make, I mean, I don't know if you ever remember a show on VH1 for Channel 101, like the whole basis of how everything got started was
VH1.
Yeah, on VH1 there was a show called Acceptable TV by Channel 101. Which was like a group that Harmon and Rob Schraub started for independent filmmakers to make stuff in LA. It all started with they all wanted a competition on who could make a version of Jaw 4 before Jaw 4s came out. So they got a whole bunch of people together into an apartment, and each person had a 5-minute video that they had made about what Jaws 4 was going to be about. Jaws 4.
Okay, you kept saying Jaw Fords.
My bad. Jaws 4. Jaw Forks, though, is a good... write that down. Jaws Forks.
Jaws Forks?
He's got a mouthful of forks. But then that evolved. So it went from 5 people to 10 people to eventually 30 people who would show up every movie night with their versions of different movies and stuff. And so Channel 101 evolved into a show deal with VH1 that was Acceptable TV. And Acceptable TV, memories. And Acceptable TV, I was like 13 when Acceptable TV came out. And that was with Jack Black, hosted it with Harmon. And each week there would be 5 submissions. And the public would vote on which submission would make it through until the next week. And so it was all about being creative. Like, it was just trying to, like... Yeah, man, the Lonely Island Boys were part of Channel 101 before they blew up. I mean, a lot of people kind of found their way through that. So, you know, but then an old video surfaced of a skit where Harmon goes back in time to rape babies, to like stop babies from raping other babies or something.
So he rapes the babies first?
Yeah, yeah, he like goes back in time and he's like, not today. Like, look. And we've talked about
was it funny?
What is funny? You know what?
Well, that's what I mean.
Did
you?
I thought it was funny.
Okay, then that's the point. It was
you know
supposed
what
to be
I mean?
funny.
But then that pops up and all hell breaks loose. And this was right in the middle of the Rick and Morty deal too, before he signed up for all 70 episodes.
It's funny how that shit pops up right before a deal.
Time Warner was
interesting.
Like, yeah.
A lot of things pop up right before something happens.
Well, he says it all the time. You know, he unfortunately, because of the position that he's at, and so many people are affected by what he does and what he wrote and what he creates, you know, there's always going to be somebody out there to be like, no, he is an asshole like that. He is a piece of shit, you know, and he deserves to be brought down because of this specific thing. And I'm like, look, if you're going to be brought down for anything, then be brought down for Jared from Subway type of shit. Be brought down for like real gangster ass shit where like you were really raping kids, like not some fake shit where you're out there pretending to rape a baby doll. Like,
yeah, you embezzled like millions of dollars, you killed someone, you know, and you left
real
the
gangster
crime,
shit, bro. Yeah,
you know.
don't make a whole hussy fussy bit about all that, but there you go. Sorry about that little segue there. Just a little info on that.
I'm just so sick of also reading like in the news of like allegations of I just skim. I don't even. You know, I don't care anymore.
Probably makes us sound like assholes. But
no, I mean, I'm fucking sick of it. It's because at this point, it's clickbait. Because there's like, this isn't a sexual allegation one, but I read a thing where Maynard from Tool got kicked out of a studio because his old guitar player, the guitar player from Smashing Pumpkins and A Perfect Circle was there, and they had time in the studio. There was a big fight. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, oh, damn, shit. So I read the article. I was like, God damn, that's crazy. Then a day later, I'm on Instagram, and I see the guitar player. I follow him on A Perfect Circle and what's-his-face, Maynard. They were posting video of them in the studio just goofing around, having fun.
Yeah.
You know, and then Maynard turns and says, man, why tell the people why you kicked me out of the studio. And it was a joke. Like, he was just like, because you know, and they were joking around. And then all of a sudden I'm reading an article and I'm thinking, oh, they're really upset at each other. What else did I read? Someone called a friend up and was like, hey, do you see we're supposed to be mad at each other today? Like another celebrity friend thing. Like where all the shit that you read is just pretty much fake. Or it's blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
These sexual allegations, like the Dan Harmon one, and again, I'm not taking anything away from people who have actually been attacked or accosted or this and that.
Exactly.
But I'm also very wary now at allegations coming out that are like, you know, he said this thing to me, and now we got to take this person's life down. He's worked his whole entire life, or she's worked this whole entire life, and then someone who really could have just, even if he was hitting on that woman, she could have just turned around and been like, I'm not interested. You know?
Yeah, but I mean,
fuck off.
How are you going to sell copies with the real story coming out?
Did she get anything out of it?
Who knows? I'm sure that's going to work its way.
Right, and that's what I mean. It's like, there's a lot of power in being a victim now.
Yeah, I mean, you hear stories about kids who say their parents are beating them and stuff, and it turns out they're not, just in an effort to, which is funny because South Park, has been making episodes. I mean, but it's all cyclical. This shit has been happening. Guarantee you there were kids back in Rome calling bullshit on their parents just for them to get murdered by the Legionnaires.
I doubt that.
You don't think so?
No, I think back then we had no concept of teenagers until the 1930s.
No way. I mean, maybe not to call them as teenagers, but to go through.
It was like from like 8 to 12. Then you worked. Then you were an extra hand.
Right, but I'm saying like between, let's not call it teenagers or whatever, like that period, I bet in that period.
I think it was a lot more tough love than we are today. I think it was a lot more tough love.
Do you think there's more matricide and patricide? But that's why there was so much of that back in the day.
Probably why?
Little shits like would be like, "Fuck if you," and like they would murder their parents.
Yeah, and then they can't do anything, and then the more
it was the Huns.
Yeah, and then yeah, no, I just think it was a tougher time. I think we're creating a society of babies.
Hell yeah, bro! I can't wait for the next World War.
And I was thinking about it though. I was like, I think it's inevitable because as we make things more comfortable for ourselves, it's like we were pretty rough and tumbling creatures, cavemen back in the day. Yeah. And then we're like, no, let's stay in caves. Okay, we have shelter now. Now we have shelter, but now I'm cold. Okay, well let's put some fur on. Okay, now I got some fur. I got a spear. My generations later, you got softer skin. You got and then it's like, oh, now I don't have to run and hunt.
So your feet aren't callousy anymore.
It's all the way till now. Now it's like, well, I need my food a certain temperature. I need my room a certain temperature.
Right.
I need everything right now. There's got to be a bathroom right next to my, in my house. Yeah. I got to have running water. We're just
adapt.
We've made it more comfortable to live. But the issue with that is that with more comfort comes, Amazon straight to the door, one-day package stuff and instant gratification and the whole young generation fucking.
And it releases all those endorphins in the back of the brain when the package shows up, and you're like, yeah, sick. Like,
no, that's my aunt right there. Just QVC addict.
I can't believe it just showed up. Like,
no, I just think it's an inevitable outcome if we continue down making.
Yeah, but think about it. We'll be in space by then. We'll be the old guys in Cowboy Bebop who are always in those scenes. And they're like, I used to be here when I built the warp drive. And they'll be like, yeah, shut up, Lenny, we know. Yeah, and that'll be me. I'll have no teeth, and I'll have worked on the warp drive. And like,
change your name to Lenny.
Yeah, yeah. I used to have a podcast. Yeah, sure, Lenny. You mean to tell me you used to be part of this, that, and the other? They stopped the Galaxion War? And I'm like, yeah. But in secret.
Sammy took over and kicked me out.
I've been huffing alien shit for 30 years. Harvey Weinstein in the studio.
Would you huff alien shit if it got you really high?
Probably not. Because I've never tried heroin, and so I can't imagine. I'm just saying in that sense of like adventurousness. I know myself enough to.
But what if it was like the better than weed? Like it was like weed, but like.
If someone was like, huff some of this alien shit, I'd be like, why did you tell me it was alien shit? I wouldn't smell human shit, though, I guess. So why?
Human shit's bad, though. Other people's shit stinks.
Yeah, well, that's why I've always been amazed by the people who get high on jankum. And like
at that point, I think it just smells like chemicals, like.
And you're sticking your head into the thing.
No, like I think it hurts. Like you ever smell a chemical that like gives you that automatic reaction of pulling your head back.
So you think the high's coming from that then?
No, well, yeah, the high's coming from huffing it. I just think the smell, it's just super high chemical, high ammonia, like high whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like you ever smell chlorine?
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
Fuck you up.
Yeah, I don't think I have it in me to snuff alien shit. But I would bang aliens, though.
I'd sniff my own jankum. I couldn't sniff someone else's jankum.
Nah, I'd sell my jankum. If, like, there was somebody who came to me and was like, I need you to shit in this bucket for $100. Would you? Someone walks up to you on Sunset and is like, hey, homie. Hello. My name is Paul. I need you to shit in this bucket. You can't ask any questions. How much? Give me a number. And then shit in this bucket.
I would have to record the thing. I'd have to get his author a signature or something about it. If I can't know what it is, because next thing I know, someone got murdered and there's my human shit right next to the fucking murder.
They're not gonna
DNA,
sir. Your
DNA.
Your poo 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 was found at the
DNA.
Did you leave some duties when you murdered this man, you poo-poo caca face? Do you not know how to wipe poo-poo caca, dummy poo-poo? You're like in the interrogation thing, like, so you left your naughty poo-poo dummy cacas when you killed that man, didn't you?
I shit myself.
How much would it cost? No questions, no nothing. No signing, no anything.
Oh, millions.
$1 million?
Yeah.
No way. That dude shows up with 10 racks in front of you and is like, look, man,
I'll shit.
10 racks?
Yeah.
I'd shit in a bucket for 10 racks.
I'd shit in a bucket.
He's like,
but
look,
the thing
dog,
is, again, I would be worried about what he's doing with my shit.
I got $5,000.
What is he doing with my shit?
$5,000 in nice cold green cash. I just need you to take a hot brown Here's a hot brown steamy shit. Cold green hard cash. Hot brown steamy shit.
That's a short movie right there.
Look at that equation, guy. You're never gonna find a better deal. Be like, hey, he's such a good salesman. He convinces you. Let me ask you, how much are you getting for your poop right now? We're like, nothing. Nobody's paying you for your poop.
Yeah, you're spending money flushing it.
Let me show you. Now here is a graph over 1 year of how much you can make selling poo. And you're just like, this is really Sunset Boulevard. I think I could do it for $1,000. What's the lowest you'd shit in a bucket for? That's the real question. What's the lowest you would do for a lot of things? I'd shit in a bucket for $100.
$100, but I need toilet paper and privacy.
Yeah, for sure. I
need privacy.
He's not like, I gotta lick it. Like,
or watch you. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, I just need you.
He's Louis C.K.ing it right while you're doing it.
Louis C.K. comes into the shop and says, I need you to shit in a bucket while I jack off in a quarter.
Can I tape it?
Do I get a spot?
Yeah. Do
I get a comedy special sponsored by
or can
Louis?
Here, I got the script, man. You want to push this along?
Yeah, here I got.
I don't think
you
he
would
has
be
any pull
perfect
anymore.
for. He keeps on coming. Did you hear he made a really bad? Well, who knows what a really bad joke is or whatever. Comedy's subjective, but again, it's like Perry with his cunt joke. Like, there's a time and place.
There's
for
another
jokes,
one
because
he refrained from the child school shooting one.
No, did you hear? It was the Auschwitz one, where he was like,
he's
in front
gonna
of
say anything now. It'll be like, oh, he talked about paraplegics.
He was like, it's more quiet in here than Auschwitz, or I'd rather be at Auschwitz than I would be right here.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah. And then, but it wasn't from back then. Is that Auschwitz? It was a tour or something.
Yeah.
He kind of spun it around. Yeah, it's dumb. Again, it's another one of those titles, the allegation things, bullshit. I don't read those.
Yeah, I don't waste my time too much on those anymore, you know. But I do highly suggest you guys listen.
Pornhub brought to you by.
Yeah, I know a majority of you guys are from our ad from Pornhub. Some other big things that happened. Harvey Weinstein in his studio reached a multi-million-dollar settlement.
Sorry, how much money would it take to?
Yeah, let's stay on that. I was hyped up about that.
YouPorn.
Say it.
To have an ad on YouPorn.
I don't know, man. It's by the bucket. So you'd put in 100, and then you would
of cum.
You would, and you would split it. Funny enough, though, I was thinking about uploading our episodes on YouPorn.
We can do that, right?
Yeah. Like a lot of like Rick and Morty episodes and like new episodes of shows that are getting streamed get popped up on there, like, and they're up there for a little bit. I was just thinking though,
people might jerk off to us.
Which, you know, is how I get through my day.
Here.
You know,
right here on your screen. Right here on the screen.
Right here. Good boy. Sit, sit. Good boy. You're so right. Oh, the government just wants us.
Oh man.
Hey, bro, if people are nutting off to us, they're downloading it.
Well, it's like this girl. She just put a video of just free music, but it's her feet. Do you think she wants likes because of the video or the feet? I mean, for the music or the feet?
Though.
That's me.
From us.
For her feet.
Because we support feet. I was at my show, not my show, pardon me, my class the other day, and one of the gentlemen there was talking about how he didn't know if he agreed with prostitution. And
what's not to agree with?
That's what I said. I was like,
what's
I was like, we're all doing prostitution in one way or another, whether it's getting paid to do a job or whether it's...
Yeah, but you're not sticking anything in your orifices in some of these other jobs.
Right.
You might have to stick your fingers in other people's orifices as a job. if you're a doctor.
Okay, I guess that would be the line. And what the definition of prostitution, is it having sex with other people for money?
Yeah, you're getting someone off to
because it's
get
not
them to ejaculate.
But it's not just an exchange of services. It has to be a sexual exchange for services, right?
Yes.
I'll look it up. But
yes, I believe so.
Right? I'm down for
I mean, that's what the cops told me.
Hey-o, I'm down. Oh, no. I'm down for that, you know. Oh, a funny thing, too, that I saw. Do you remember Jersey Shore? Who doesn't?
Paulie, whatever the fuck.
Right. Mike the Situation.
He's marrying someone?
He got married, but I didn't know that he spent 6 months in federal prison.
Yeah. I remember when he went in, because, again, I check the news every morning, and then I remember when he got out. Yeah.
Hey.
What the fuck was it for?
Tax evasion.
That's what
Tax evasion.
The same shit they got Wesley Snipes for.
I know. It's crazy to think about that.
So how much evasion of taxes did he do?
I didn't see that much.
Because imagine it. It's like, well, he didn't pay them $20,000. Would you do 6 months for $20,000? Not to have to pay someone $20,000?
In federal prison?
That's the best kind of prison.
What?
Yeah. That's the prison you want to go to.
Fuck that.
No, that's what all the prisoners say. Mm-hmm.
Fuck that, dude.
No.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Remember.
Where did he go though? He went upstate in
remember
New York, though.
Russian FPS Russia, the dude with the guns on YouTube. He had a Russian accent, and he would shoot guns. He had millions of subscribers, and he was huge. He would just shoot giant guns. FPS Russia, funny as fuck. Ends up, he's not Russian. He's some dude from like Oklahoma or some bullshit like that with land. And one day, as a joke, he did the Russian accent. His friends were like, "Dude, that's awesome. Keep doing that." And then he was posting videos of like literally shooting Gatling guns and everything like that because he lived on this large property. He went to federal prison for 2 months.
For tax evasion?
No, they were trying to get him for. They thought he had illegal guns on the premises. He had like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of guns. Like $200,000 worth of guns is what he estimated to. They took it all because they found an ounce of weed and CBD or like a tincture.
Where does he? Oh, he lives in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's Oklahoma. It's one of those like southern. It's not Oklahoma. It's like I forget where, Tennessee or some shit. Anyway, so they confiscated all of his shit, all of his guns, over an ounce of weed. They stick him, and they threw a bunch of fines at him. He couldn't pay it, so they said, well, you can do 2 months in federal prison because it's a federal crime. Whatever he committed was a federal crime, so he went to federal prison. Come to find out, everyone thinks federal prison's the scary one. It's like, no. Federal prison's where everyone's got their shit in order because there's better food. They got better housing units. Like, there's more money into the things. And I forget the reasoning, too. There was something about, like, short-term people. The long-term people, there's rules like wash your hands, make your beds, do all that stuff. There's, like, all these, like, rules. And no one wants to really rock the boat.
Right.
Everything's fine. Nobody's trying to fuck anybody. And if that is happening, usually it's like, it's a big deal. Like, he goes, it happens, he says, but like, your buddy. But anyway, I guess the whole thing, he said, is that you want to go to federal prison, not like a
He's probably in a low-risk Gen Pop area in the federal prison.
With people who murdered people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, there was a dude who, long story, but anyway, check out FPS Russia on YouTube. Shit's great. His videos are awesome because he just does all kinds of shit. And the whole time he's like, I'm FPS Russia. He talks like this. And then when he got out of prison, I saw him on a podcast. I had no clue he was on a podcast, and he was talking. He's like, yeah, man, like, and he's talking like normal, with like an accent. And I was just like,
big surprise.
What the fuck? Yeah, even though everyone's comments were like,
that's crazy. Yeah, because all the guys who go upstate, or talk about it, they're never happy. Like here in California, going up there.
I heard the food's better. The housing's, I mean, obviously it sucks.
Yeah.
You're not there to have a good time. But he was just like, honestly, it wasn't really that bad.
2 months. In and out.
True.
And 60
but
days.
he meant the day-to-day, like he goes, I slept all the time. He goes, I would eat only once every other day because you don't use any calories.
No, you just
He's like, I
just
read books and had a workout partner.
And just work. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like they
those TVs.
Sounds like they put them somewhere. Yeah.
No, those TVs and shit. Yeah, and general population.
They can change the
obviously,
TV.
Obviously, he wasn't what?
Like TV. remotes and stuff?
Yeah, he said there was 4 TVs, and every morning there would be a guy who would put all the local news on from each channel. And he said it was fucking infuriating because it just reminded you that you can't walk out the fucking gates and see what the hell's going on out there. So he goes, one day I wanted to watch Everybody Loves Raymond, and he's like, fuck this. So he took a TV, and he said, I changed the channel. And he goes, the guy stands up, he's like, hey, we're watching the news. He's like, dude, this guy was screaming. Yeah. So he's like, okay, he just put it back. And then come to find out this dude murdered somebody.
Yeah, like I was going to say, stuff's easy when you keep your head down, you know, and you just kind of do your own thing. Like, don't get me wrong, no prison's going to be a fucking Brazilian prison. No, I'm saying as far as like,
oh, the Thai.
Like I've never
those Thai prisons.
Exactly. I've never been in a prison, but I have been to jail enough to know that it's never as bad as they say
was
it
that?
is.
Well, there was the
what
Mexican.
Movie is that?
There was a movie, The Mexican, with Mel Gibson, where he goes to a Mexican prison.
Oh yeah.
It was the
no.
Mexican? It was
the Gringo. No.
The Gringo. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
And then there was another one in Thailand where the white boy.
And then Bruce Wayne was in that prison in the third movie. And they were beating him up. Remember, Bruce Wayne was in that movie.
Bruce Wayne?
Batman? Bruce Wayne?
Yeah, but that was the first movie.
Was it the first movie that he gets beat up in?
Yeah, he's
in
prison.
Homie. He gets his back broken by Bane, and then he's in that prison.
Oh, that prison.
I
thought when he in the first part of the first Batman where he goes to the prison and they're like, and they are holding him back and they're like, no, he started it. He's like, no, we're hiding him from you or something.
But it's it's crazy stuff. I wouldn't want to go to any of them, but if you keep your head down and mind your own business.
That's the other one, I think. There was a lot more to buy in commissary and do stuff, and you had a lot more. Yeah, you just had a lot more shit to do, and it was like a nice.
Sounds, either way, fuck that. Fuck going to federal prison.
Fuck going, yeah, dude. I remember when I went to jail, just that little bit of time.
I'll work $20,000.
I cannot. I just my brain was having a hard time to grasp. Like I can't walk out of this room.
Yeah.
Like, they won't let me walk out of this room.
But, I mean, that's 60 days. I mean, they do give you that option a lot. Like, one of the options I've gotten before is, like, just you can serve the time and it essentially clears stuff off. I guess, dude, 60 days. Look at me talking myself into it. I would save 20 stacks.
20 stacks, 60 days. You get clean.
Then you have a record.
But you would have a record anyway. Yeah, you have a record anyway. You just can't pay your fine.
You got it.
You just can't pay your fine, and that's why you.
But you would have a record saying that you actually went to prison, though.
Yeah.
I guess that just depends on what field you plan on jumping in. Like,
right.
But, if you're just gonna make YouTube videos as a fake Russian guy, it's not really gonna matter. It's gonna improve.
I think he's done with that because they took all his guns away.
It's gonna improve your street cred.
How long have we been at this?
If that actually does happen. I haven't checked. Let me see real quick. Check the time. Well, I don't want to do that. I think we have like
10 more minutes. All right, guys. Bear with us.
It's not.
The bare necessities.
Yeah. Almost 2 more minutes. Okay, but we are at the end of it. So what are your final close 10-minute thoughts as the final? Apparently there's a Jersey City shooting that just happened. So by the time you guys hear this, you're gonna hear all types of commotions.
By the time you guys hear this, there might be 3 more.
Let's see. Major sporting events that are happening. Football season's ramping up real hard. So that's pretty much the bigger thing. The Anthony Joshua versus the Gypsy King, the Bronze Bomber versus the Gypsy King 2 happens on the 22nd. That's big news in the boxing.
The one boxer fucked up.
Anthony Ruiz. It was a different match. You watch the first match versus the second one.
He put on 20 more pounds.
Yeah.
He was
fucking around. He thought he was.
Yeah, he fucked up.
I've been the victim, or not the victim, pardon me enough, or I guess a victim. I've been a victim of my own hubris. I've gone into matches and fights before, or specifically matches where I've beaten the person and then re-met that person on the mat.
I got this.
And been like, oh, I get what's going on. And because I didn't put extra effort to be prepared or something, he studied tape and he did everything and he came back and he won, And so it's just, that type of stuff happens all the time. So that certainly does show the difference between...
Yeah, but at that caliber, you don't have anybody on your team that says, hey, man, stop eating.
What are you going to tell the world heavyweight champion?
Yeah,
stop?
Bro. Just be like, hey.
That's why you surround yourself with a good team.
Yeah.
That's why I tell you all the time, stop being a dick. So I'm always like, hey, you're being a dick. But that's what's going on sports-wise. As far as the world, by the time you guys hear this, we're going to be 2 weeks to Christmas. So make sure that you've gone out and purchased what you can. Now, I do want to say the holiday seasons are a little tough for some people out there, emotionally and financially. So think about making something for a loved one. A postcard, a clay pot, a music video, write a poem, make your own condoms and give them out to people out of sheep guts. Do the ironing in a stranger's home while they're asleep.
While the clothes is on them.
Right, while their clothes are on them. Try and solve cold case mysteries. Illegally download and torrent Persian cartoons. There's so many things that you can do to help your community. Steal human hair from corpses. Donate them to cancer donations. Beat up old women. We cannot stress this enough. We have said this every episode. If you're not beating up an old lady, you're not doing it right. Join a swingers club. You know, explore
An old people swingers club.
An old people. So okay.
The
Final story before we leave. So I went to an event, just like a meetup event for like. It's not necessarily swingers. It's just like people who are just kinky people. You know, just freaky kinky people who just like meet up.
Then how'd you hear about this?
Just a website, dog. Google. Third page of Google.
So you looked up places to go meet?
No. I know a guy from Instagram that had gone to one of these beforehand. It was like a party that I got invited to, and so
he invited you?
Yeah, he's like a buddy.
Was it all dudes there?
No. There was actually a bunch of good-looking women.
Cougars?
No, younger women. Traditionally enough, as you guys know, I like to prowl the senior homes for my next victim.
200 or over 200
Very
pounds?
pretty. There was this one chick who was like an MIT graduate, and like, but what's dangerous about those places is you'll find someone who's really interesting, and they'll be like, yeah, and then like their husband will come up, and then
they'll be like, so you want to fuck my wife?
Yeah, and that's when you're just like, Like it was like the first time I've ever gone to like a thing like that where people have actually just been open about like the weirdness and the freakiness of the things that they like to do.
Where you're just like,
because I've told you about before back in my older episodes. There was one old episode where I talked about I went into like an event like that and with a chick that invited me out to somewhere up here in Hollywood, and I walked into the dungeon and there was the fat guy in stilettos who was getting beat up by black chicks. Did I tell you that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and he was just getting the shit beat out of him by black chicks.
Yeah, I used to buy heroin from a woman that used to do that. Beat up
black guys or white guys.
Just men, yeah.
Just men in general.
Men in general. I'd walk in and then there'd be a dude like strapped over some shit, and she's just talking to me, and I'm like, I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
So what are you doing there?
Some motherfuckers.
And then like she would yell, "Shut up!" to the guy out here. She was hilarious.
That's wild. Yeah, I just sat there in amazement. It was like going through a zoo. You're just kind of like, huh.
People are weird, man.
And she's like, "Do you like that, fat boy?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love it. And you're just like, huh? Like this isn't.
Lisa was it? It was Lisa.
Shout out Lisa. If you ever
yeah,
want to be
she's
on the
still
show.
alive.
If you're still alive.
Yeah. She used to shoot up meth. I used to watch her shoot up meth, and she'd go all red and breathe heavy.
Shoot up meth?
Yeah. It was rough.
That is terrible.
The young and the restless.
Well, there you go. That's appropriate. But so we were all there meeting, and they were like, "So what are you into?"
Come.
And I was like, "I just like banging whores." But I was just like,
you should just ask, like, what do you mean? Like, not even like.
I was like, isn't this the Bible study class? Like, what?
You just pull out your Bible.
Why are you guys talking about all this weird shit? Like, I'm just here to talk about Jesus.
Jesus!
That's what I should have said. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I just turned it on all of them. Just be like, oh, yeah, I got a kink. It's my Lord, Jesus Christ, and His holy word. Bring it right down. I'm horny for Jesus. How about you, huh? Just turns into a big old thing. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to save your eternal soul. And just buzz. That's my kink. I'm getting off on it right now. How much do you love Jesus? People ask me all the time, Brian, how much do you love Jesus? And I tell them, all the time. And then I guarantee you, at the end of that meeting, one person would come up to me and be like, "So, what?"
Crying.
Like, what is this? Me? Yeah, like, what do I do to get into this? Only thing you got to do is prostrate yourself in front of God and marry and get on your knees and just beg. But I didn't really have anything in specifics. I was like, I don't know. I've never
You're all
put on
hentai.
costumes. I never did anything weird. I don't like the idea of getting piss on or shit on. I like the idea of like wax on.
Even anal, like, cause like.
Well, come on, we're not prudes. Chill out.
Well, no. I mean, not that I'm not into seeing it or whatever, but like anytime. There was.
I mean, he's not saying that the buffet's open and they're inviting him over for a little
right.
bite. He's not gonna show up. You know?
I'm still gonna have the salad.
Hey, if she's like, "Hey, you want to come jump into the pool?" You know, I'm gonna jump in the pool.
I'll test them waters.
Ew.
But
that's not your first stop.
But sometimes
you like to go and unpack in the room.
I just don't like smells. The
whole thing's a smell after you're done.
I mean when you pull your dick out of an asshole.
Yeah, okay. Whoa.
That is a different smell.
Not for kids. This show's not for kids.
When you pull that steaming,
yeah, you're right.
From that steaming hole of an ass.
Yeah, you're right. It's a bit of a mess.
I had a friend where he pulled out too quickly, and she misted his whole midsection with shit spray.
I got one even better, dog. What was my final story about that? Oh, well, it's not really that funny. I just told him, I was like, I guess the only weirdest thing would be old ladies.
Fingers in my butt.
And that was what freaked them out. It didn't freak them out, but they were just like surprised.
Old ladies. I was like, how old?
I was like, I guess old ladies. And they were like, old ladies? They were like, how old? I was like, I don't know, like 50, 60-year-old ladies, like, you know, old ladies. And they're like, Mom! And one of the dudes who gets beat up by black women in stilettos looked at me. I was like, really? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Really, you? Like, I seen some of y'all probably been pissed on and fucked up. And I was like, old ladies, yeah, they need love too. I told them. But here's my final story. Hit me up with some background stuff. This is my final story, guys, to combat that. So, there was this house party back in the day, right? And the
Wheel of
rumor
Fortune.
was one chick in there got asked to get boofed ecstasy in her butt while they were having sex. So the guy put the ecstasy pill on the tip of his dick.
Oh, you told me the story. Yeah, I remember.
And he started banging the chick. he started nailing her on the bed. And I guess it kicked in at the wrong time or the right time. But when he pulled out, she didn't just miss, dog. From the stories, she caked it. And then, hey, if this isn't the most G move I've ever heard in my life. Call it G, call it nasty, whatever. My guy took all the bed sheets like a gentleman, took everything off, wiped her down, wiped himself down.
That's a gentleman.
And then
I would have ran out screaming.
Threw them out the window and kept going, dog, and finished the job.
Because he didn't come. So that's a man.
That's a man. Good or bad, that's a man.
I'm not. There's no judgment. I can't say good or bad, but that's unfortunately, or fortunately, how we have procreated so long. Who was it that said that? Bill Burr or somebody who's like, we are programmed to sleep with 80% of all women in, like, let's say, 80% of all women. Like,
yeah, it's amazing. So if just a little final story for your guys to trust, nurture,
boofing ecstasy with your dick,
nature, and if you are interested in anal, research it, but don't put ecstasy into your ass. Final thoughts, my friend. It's a lot of silence, but
that was my thoughts. It was just wind. No, I don't know, man. Final thoughts. Good show. I really don't want to go to K-Town tonight. I gotta go do that. So that's gonna suck.
To travel that battle down from the 101.
I don't know. We talked about all kinds of crazy shit on this one.
It was a good one. My final thoughts, guys. If I could get a little background music, ladies and gentlemen, please. Make sure that you tune in for next week. And not only next week, make sure that you guys are downloading What's Hood with Forever Cabron and Happy News with Perry Kurtz. Because guess what, guys? We got a couple shows coming to you next year. That's right, next year. 14 days, ladies and gentlemen. Probably a little bit longer than that, right? About 18 days now?
Yeah.
About 18 days, we're going to be bringing you guys a whole brand new revamped binge on this. Our anniversary is coming up, no homo, which means we will hit 1 year anniversary of binge on this.
1 year in under 20 subscribers.
Good times.
You thought about that one for a minute.
I did, didn't I? But guess what? You know what? Fuck that. What's cool about that? That's a consistent 20.
That is a consistent 20.
That's a consistent. There's no dropper. I mean, there's a little gain compared to what went down at the beginning.
Let's just say those 20 or 24 or whatever the hell. We appreciate you guys.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for listening to us and to all of our amazing shows, and just to try your best to review. Like I said, there's 25 of us. We have 10 reviews or 9 reviews on iTunes. If you get another 10 of you guys moving up, except for Kid in Sweden. I see you, Kid in Sweden. You've been downloading a lot of them. I don't speak Swedish. But Danke, my guy.
That's German.
That's not Swedish. But Danke Shay. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. And as always, remember to love each other, stay safe, and to dream the dream of 1,000 dreams.
Geronimo!
Yeah. Ooh, I'm floating. Floating through the air.
Ball position.